Good morning, everyone. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico Style, and this is Monday. Good morning to you. Feeling very blessed to live in New Mexico, where the weather is beautiful, but unfortunately quite frightful, where a lot of our families and friends are.
Right.
The East Coast has basically shut down as the perfect storm closes in, and we are actually hearing that it could affect 50 million people from the Carolinas all the way up through Maine.
And including a beeline toward New Jersey, where your family is right now.
Yeah, I just hung up with my grandma. I just yelled at her because she's not going to my parents' house, and she thinks she's Miss Independent, and it's really scary. You know, as I always say, I've been in a hurricane in Florida, but remember something, you know, Florida is prepared for these things. We have hurricane shutters. It's mandatory in most buildings that you have that kind of glass that's prepared for a hurricane. New Jersey and New York, the tri-state area, they're not prepared as far as housing situations. They're not prepared for those kind of things. So it's very, very scary. And a lot of people just want to, you know, they want to get out of town. But if you had travel plans, more than 7,000 flights along the entire East Coast have been canceled. So, and that's going on for the next 2 days. So don't think you're getting anywhere.
Yeah, flights will be grounded in and out of the Northeast until tomorrow. And that's, I mean, that could certainly change. All flights from the Sunport to and from Baltimore and Washington Dulles are also canceled. So it's a mess out there, and it hasn't even hit yet.
Yeah, it's really scary. I mean, Sandy has even shut down Wall Street. Hello. I mean, that's a huge deal. The New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ stock market are both closed for business, and we're actually hearing that trading may not even get back to normal until Wednesday.
Right. This is the first time trading has been halted in all U.S. stocks since a 4-day stretch after the September 11th terrorist attacks.
And that was a huge deal when that happened then, and to think it's happening again. And like I said, I mean, it's very scary. And you know, we were in Santa Fe this weekend. 50%, I would say, of the people that I spoke to, met, or hung out with were from that area. So this does affect us in New Mexico because so many people here have families back east, including us. So I'm really a mess today, as you can tell. I'm really nervous.
It is.
Really
it's
nervous.
Scary. I mean, it's the largest cyclone in the Atlantic Basin's history, and the size of it. It's just one big factor into why it's going to be so bad.
It's scary. So what does the day look like for us?
Well, we're looking really good here.
Yeah, I feel a little guilty. I'll be honest. I feel a little guilty, but I'm very thankful.
Yeah, it's looking good for us here. A lot of sunshine. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 60s. And as we head through the lunch hour, topping out in the low 70s, and the winds are going to stay light, so it will be a beautiful day.
Very nice. Good for us. That's a wonderful thing. And again, something for us to certainly be thankful for this week. Now let's check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez. She actually has more on Hurricane Sandy as well as the rest of today's headlines. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning to you at home. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about Hurricane Sandy and how she is slowly swallowing up a good portion of the East Coast. The center of the massive storm is expected to make landfall just north of Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. Fox's Doug Luzader has more this morning.
Hurricane Sandy is going to make landfall just a little north of here, but the specific point of landfall doesn't really matter all that much because people will feel the impact for hundreds of miles in any direction. The waves just keep growing. Still, along the Delmarva Peninsula, we found these two guys taking advantage of some unusually big surf.
God blessed us with this storm, so let's go have fun with it.
Well, not everyone quite sees it that way. Sandy is being called a megastorm, churning and spinning to a size where much of the eastern seaboard can no longer be seen from space, slamming into the most densely populated part of the country.
We could see hurricane force winds. In fact, we expect hurricane force winds anywhere from the Delmarva through New Jersey, through New York, and into southern New England.
In New York City, subways and mass transit are already closed. Hundreds of thousands are under mandatory evacuation orders, and other cities are following suit. You can see all this foam that's gathering on the beach here, and take a look at the waves offshore continuing to build. The wind speeds are building too, but the fear from Sandy isn't just the wind, it's this water that's just going to inundate these low-lying areas, causing extreme flooding.
We have to take this seriously.
President Obama toured FEMA headquarters yesterday. Both he and Governor Mitt Romney have had to either cancel or postpone campaign events because of the storm. Millions are now bracing for Sandy's full impact, even if some are finding a silver lining in those gathering clouds. A lot of people would say you're crazy.
I'd agree.
And as bad as this driving rain may be, Sandy may ultimately leave her mark as a terrible snowstorm. In Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
And we will continue to monitor this mega storm and have the very latest for you both on air and online. Closer to home, if you are going to vote in Doña Ana County, double check your ballot. That's because some of them are only printed on one side. An attorney in Las Cruces recently caught the mistake. The county clerk thinks it's from a printer that had a problem. The attorney got a new ballot, but wants to make sure that others know about the problem in case it happens to them. A new $213 million security system designed to protect the nation's nuclear bomb building lab in Los Alamos doesn't work. Apparently, a team from the federal government is now trying to find out why. The security system took 7 years to build. The lab admits it has had some big problems. The federal government says that's unacceptable. Now, the lab spokesman says that security at the complex is fully operational, very robust, and not adversely impacted by this delay. People with HIV and AIDS in Albuquerque will soon have a new place to call home. That's because in just a few hours, New Mexico AIDS Services will break ground on a big project to transform the old Sleepy Hollow Motor Court on Central and 11th. The $1.5 million project is scheduled to be completed by August of 2013. Now, in the end, the old rooms will be turned into 10 housing units. The tenants will have on-site supportive services as well as a common house where people living there can meet up.
This will provide our clients with the ability to have a comfortable environment where they don't have to worry so much about having a roof over their heads and can focus more on a healthy lifestyle and living.
A number of organizations have contributed to the project, including the City of Albuquerque, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority. And that wraps it up for your Monday morning headlines. Be sure to catch Matt, Kristen, and myself every weekday morning on KRQE News 13, beginning at 4:30 a.m. Ladies, going to send it back to you. Don't forget, we're following this mega storm, so we'll have much more on this both on air and online.
Yes, thank you so much, Elizabeth. And, you know, turning subjects for a moment, we'll talk about something a little kooky here. It's the burning of El Kookooee, which lit up Albuquerque's South Valley last night. This is crazy. El Kookooee, also known as the boogeyman, who, by the way, I'm still afraid of, keeps children in line.
Is a monster that they tell the kids to behave or Kookooee's going to get them. We told our daughters about it.
South Valley residents have been setting the boogeyman on fire ever since 1989.
I have to tell you, I still close my closet at night because I'm afraid of the boogeyman. Well, my mom really did scare the you-know-what out of me as a kid. Said, you know, if you don't go to bed, the boogeyman's going to get you. And you believe it. That boogeyman's very scary. And especially on a week like this, it is Halloween week, and hundreds of people already got into the Halloween spirit by running and walking and biking at the Day of Tread on Sunday.
Right, there's a look at some of those folks there enjoying the nice weather. It's a little chilly out there Sunday morning, but it does benefit charities. All proceeds for the race went to the Carrie Tingley Hospital Foundation and Casa Esperanza, so it was all for a good cause.
Yeah, that's nice. You didn't get out there because you were actually also in Santa Fe, and that's because we told you on Friday that Santa Fe's Bishop's Lodge Ranch Resort and Spa kicked off its 95th anniversary by burying a time capsule, and yes, we were there.
This was so cool. This is the first time I've ever been involved with a time capsule, but it will be pulled out of the ground in 25 years. You know, there are going to be so many changes.
Yes, and that's us with our producer and Larry Barker, not the real Larry Barker, but the mask that we decided to put into the time capsule. And you can see we're literally holding it, and it is not a light little thing. I mean, that was a heavy thing, and they have to seal it up, and it goes in and gets buried. And they did a really nice proclamation, and they had everybody kind of get together for a reception. And Christopher McLean, who's the chef over there, who we love, he put out beautiful food, and it was a really lovely little celebration.
It was. You know, it was so neat to hear the history of the Bishop's Lodge too. Did you hear it? They said it was bought for $80. $80!
Can you and if you've ever seen that property, it is, I mean,
amazing.
To die for. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And the accommodations are fantastic, and we want to thank everybody over at Bishop's Lodge for their generosity and their kindness, and we had a great time.
Yeah, and congrats on celebrating 90 years.
Yeah, very, very exciting. Cool. Now, okay, take a look at this little guy, okay? Take a look at him. Oh, this is Ben, who is believed to be the state's smallest donkey.
So cute. So this picture was sent to us from Talisha, who lives in Duran, and that's between Vaughn and Corona, if you're wondering. She tells us that visitors are welcome, so if you're traveling through central New Mexico, be sure to drop by. Everyone in town knows where Ben lives, so just just ask somebody for directions. Small town life.
I love it. And look at how happy that kid is.
So
Like, that's
cute.
my donkey. I love it. I
That's
love
really
it.
cute.
We want to see what all of our New Mexico and Southern Colorado viewers are up to. So please, we encourage you to send your photos to us at casa.com. We love to see and we love to talk about it and get you involved in our show as well. Now, getting involved in our show means getting involved in what's going on around here, but also the big talk, of course, across the nation is the weather going on the East Coast. So what can you tell us that can help people out? So I know a lot of us are very, very worried today.
Okay, well, I have some info for you on Sandy and for the local weather too. So let's go ahead and get to the weather maps and we'll talk about what's happening today. Again, sunshine will top out in the low 70s. It's 42 out right now, so it's chilly. You may want to grab the jacket as you head out the door. We're going to be looking at cool conditions through the morning, but the afternoon looking fantastic. Sunny skies statewide. 60s to the north, low 70s for Albuquerque, and we'll be in the mid 70s in the southeast, and you can see just a few clouds out there, so nothing major. There's a look at Sandy. Hurricane Sandy projected to make landfall along the New Jersey coastline later on this evening, probably close to midnight tonight, already bringing in a ton of rain, as you can see there, mixing in with some snow along the Appalachian Mountains. They could have several feet of snow from the system. By the way, storm surge, something they're really keeping a close eye on, and the wind field too. This is a look at how far those winds spread out from the center. Hurricane force winds in the deep red, and then the orange is tropical storm force winds. So that's why we're talking a major power outage, because this is going to be moving in to the New England states, mid-Atlantic states as well, and we could be looking at power outages all up and down the coast there, and it's going to be so slow moving that you're going to have to deal with the effects of the storm not only through today, tonight, tomorrow night, that we're going to be looking at strong winds sticking around to perhaps Thursday, though it will be weakening over the next few days. And of course, we'll continue to keep you updated with the latest on Hurricane Sandy throughout the day and on our website as well.